In the fifth section, Hume says that we have sensations and they impress upon us. We would need to indulge in highly theoretical speculations in order to explain what is doing the impressing and how it does its impressing. Thus, Hume says that the ultimate cause for these sense impressions is beyond our abilities to understand. But Hume only wants to explain those aspects of our mental life that we can direct access. So he does not regard these theoretical questions to be pertinent to his presentation. We only need to rest with the fact that we may determine the truth or falsity of our perceptions by means of their coherence with each other. Now we will want to distinguish the memory from the imagination. Both these faculties borrow their simple ideas from impressions, and neither can go beyond these impressions. So it cannot be that we may distinguish memory from imagination somehow in terms of simple ideas. The memory preserves the original order and position of its ideas, and the imagination transposes and changes these ideas of the memory at its own pleasure. So it might seem that we could take the original order of the impressions as they were recorded in the memory and compare them with the rearranged order that they obtained in the imagination. But try for yourself. Recall the series of impressions you had and then compare that series to how your imagination rearranged them. The complex ideas seem impossible to order into a linear series, and the impressions are so many and so elusive that they are quite difficult to recall in their full entirety and clarity. Hence, Hume says, however, that our minds are not able to do this. So we can neither distinguish the memory and its imagination by simple nor by complex ideas. Hume says that there is not a qualitative difference between the ideas of the memory and imagination, and only a difference in feeling distinguishes ideas of each faculty. This difference in feeling is based on the greater strength and liveliness of the memory's ideas. Remembered ideas may become so feeble and obscure that they pass for imagined ideas. Likewise, our imagined ideas might acquire so much force and vivacity as to seem like one of memory's ideas. We then come to actually believe these imagined memories. Just think of expert liars whose elaborate, colorful tales come to even convince their own selves of their specious truth. In the sixth section, Hume says that we previously noted how we make inferences from causes to effects. We saw that the causally related objects do not exhibit qualities that would necessarily relate them as causes to effects. And Hume says that we cannot have a priori knowledge of causal relations. The only other option is that we learn them after or posteriorly to experience. This would be a posteriori knowledge. It is therefore by experience only that we can infer the existence of one object from that of another. Then Hume asks, do we conclude that causes and effects are constantly conjoined because they are necessarily connected, or do we conclude that causes and effects are necessarily connected because they are constantly conjoined? We previously noted that the only two relations we find between causes and effects are contiguity and succession. But in our further analysis, we have uncovered another relation, constant conjunction. We make inferences from causes. These inferences are possible because causes and effects are considered to be connected necessarily, and we experience causes as being constantly conjoined with their effects. So there are two possibilities regarding the constant conjunctions and necessary connections. The constant conjunction of causes and effect, their repetition, associates ideas we already have in our mind, and they are associated in a way that does not add a new idea, for the idea of constant conjunction will be the same each time. Thus, some argue that as our senses show us in one instance two bodies or motions or qualities in certain relations of success and contiguity, so our memory presents us only with a multitude of instances, wherein we always find like bodies, motions, or qualities in like relations. From the mere repetition of any past impression, even to infinity, there never will arise any new original idea, such as that of a necessary connection. And the number of impressions has, in this case, no more effect than if we confined ourselves to one only. So in this case, it would seem that the objects are already necessarily connected. Our minds would then make the inference from cause to effect because of this necessary connection. However, the other possibility is that the necessity of the connection between cause and effect is a result of our making inferences from cause to effect. Because the necessary connection results from the inference, we obtain a new idea that was not inherently there between the impressions. For just because they repeatedly occur together does not thereby imply they must necessarily always forever occur together. Hume says that our analysis so far suggests the first possibility, but it seems we do not add new ideas when inferring effects from causes. So, causation implies contiguity, succession, and constant conjunction. This allows us to reason upon the relations. Hence, causation is a philosophical relation.